Coming up next on Linebaugh Library, we take a tour of the newly renovated Linebaugh branch. Plus, we visit the Myrtle Glanton Lord Library to see what's new. And we meet the author of a new book about a local legend.
Our local library has so much happening, and we're excited to tell you about it. First, we want to continue our look at the origins of Linebaugh. When we last spoke, the library system moved to a new location, hired a new branch librarian, and expanded to a second city. Today, we pick up from there as we check out our Linebaugh Rewind.
With the resignation of branch librarian Mila Parsons in 1962, Assistant Librarian Alberta Spence led the charge to move to the new location, the former post office building on West College Street. Garland Construction Company was hired to handle renovations. With volunteer help, Spence supervised the move of more than 20,000 books and materials to the new site. Linebaugh opened its new location on August 19, 1962. The following week, Briley Queen Adcock was named the new librarian. Adcock, along with a staff of 5, stayed quite busy in the new location. A music department was added thanks in part to donations of equipment and a collection of a number of records and albums. The Linebaugh Board, along with Janet Smith, a librarian from the Highland Rim Regional Library, collaborated to create a bunch of bookmobile deposit stations in outlying areas. However, the regional librarians scrutinized their viability due to a number of issues, including lack of community interest and lost or overdue items. By late 1963, the board closed a station in Laverne. There was another initiative from both Adcock and Smith in the works around that time. Working with former Eagleville Mayor Buck Dyer, the idea was to create an experimental bookmobile stop, a first in the statewide regional system. The concept would have a bookmobile filled with 1,500 volumes visiting twice a week for a 2-hour stop. Registered patrons could borrow from the bookmobile and return books to the main branch. The experiment proved to be successful, as today's bookmobile utilizes the same concept.
Your eyes are not deceiving you if you've walked into Linebaugh Library and noticed something different. In fact, there's a lot that's different as the library has gone through a number of renovations. Branch librarian Carol Gaddis gives us a tour of what's new as we hear a word from our branches.
Well, we have been working for this whole year to try to redo the way things are laid out at Linebaugh. Lots of changes. We wanted to make the space better for our patrons and also for our collection, especially in our children's area. We've outgrown the space. We needed more shelving. We needed to be able to let children have more space for the activities and our story times. And so we actually did kind of a flip of our collection. We put all of our fiction and large print adult materials upstairs with our nonfiction and allowed that space to really be concentrated for patrons, adult patrons. And also we are getting new computers upstairs, so we're laid out our computer lab as well.
Gaddis adds renovations should be complete before the end of the year.
We are very close to the end. We have just, as of yesterday, finished painting. So we are going to be working on signage, finalizing all of our end caps, where people can find materials on the shelves, getting signs so people know where things are. And then we hope by December to have an open house for the public.
Gaddis says there have been interesting reactions from library patrons with all of the changes at Linebaugh.
Well, I think the first thing has been, where are the new books? Where are the fiction? People want to know where things are. They're looking for where materials are located now. So that's been just trying to get people redirected, but they like the space. I think people have been very pleased with the digital area where we have videos and media and CDs and graphic novels. They like it all in one location. It's easy to get to. And also the families are thrilled with the space for children.
Gaddis reminds us why change is sometimes necessary for a library.
I think it's good to remember that libraries are a living space. We're not just a depository of books and materials, but we change. We change with the community. we change with the times, and so it's hard change. Sometimes we've had to give up some things that people were used to, where things are located, but I think it's good because we're adapting to what our patrons need, and I think that's the most important thing to remember as our library adjusts to what we're adjusting to what you all want as a community, and that's, I think, the most important thing.
While we're talking renovations, a lot has changed in the Youth Services Department. We find out more about what's new in Youth Services as we bring the fun.
Hello everyone, I'm Mindy Barrett, the Youth Services Specialist at Linebaugh Public Library.
And I'm Laura Loggins, the Youth Services Assistant at Linebaugh Public Library.
We are super excited to be able to share our new Children's Department with you.
Firstly, we've always carried this collection, but we've changed some things and added space. For example, our programming space. It's moved to the back of our department and it is much larger. It's open and all of our stations are totally and completely defined. I absolutely love this space. It creates a nice space for families and children. Next, we've also moved the children's desks so we're more accessible and more approachable. We've also moved our catalog searching computer to the back. Our easy books, children's computers, Legos, puppets, and general puzzles and toys are in and near our programming space. This makes it easier for families to browse while children play. We've moved all of our digital media, audio, and graphic novels between our easy and fiction and nonfiction stacks. This setup defines our department: children, tweens, and teens.
You'll also see some new additions. One of the first things we did was remove the zigzag walls, which opened up the space and allowed us to take over this whole floor. We added a young adult section for quick access to our young adult fiction and nonfiction titles. We've also added 3 study spaces. These are specifically designated for teens and tutor study sessions. We've painted. The pops of color really define the space and stand out.
Now that we've told you about some of the new improvements and changes that we have in our department, here are some upcoming events that we have planned. Stevie. The first Monday of each month, come read with Stevie, a golden retriever. She's a reading education assistance dog. Call or stop by to register at Linebaugh. Stevie will be here the first Monday of every month from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. and cannot wait to hear you read her a story.
Adulting 101, Saturday, December 1st at 2 p.m. This is for teens ages 12 to 18. Each Adulting 101 session will teach teens key life skills. Our first event will include an introduction to cursive handwriting, learning the importance of signing your name with a signature, and the game Will It Waffle.
Santa Story Time, Tuesday, December 4th at 10 a.m. Everyone is welcome. Come enjoy stories, a craft, a breakfast snack, and a visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Be sure to bring your camera.
Dinosaur Story Time, Wednesday, January 9th at 10 a.m. Dinosaurs of all ages are welcome. Stories, a craft, songs, a puppet show, a snack, and so much more. We are going to have a stomping good time. We are so excited with all the changes and updates here at Linebaugh Library.
We can't wait to see you soon.
A hidden gem at the Patterson Park Community Center is the Myrtle Glanton Lord Library. While it's one of the smallest branches of the Rutherford County Library System, you would never know it because there's a lot happening there. Branch librarian Brittany Reed Saltz gives us an MGL update in a segment we call Staff Stuff.
We have a lot of new programs that we've developed over the past few months and we implemented starting in September. We used to have the One Up program, which we have retooled and changed the time and date for. It's now called Upstream, and it incorporates science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics for tweens ages 8 to 12. And we now offer that on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. We've also expanded our teen programming in general to include a tween book club, the Fairy Tale Jams program, which teaches theater, arts, and dance topics to tweens, and our reference group, which we say answers the reference questions you might not have thought to ask and brings in some special guests and teaches kids about new topics and skills.
For those longtime patrons of MGL, don't worry. Some of your favorite programs are still going strong.
We still have our story time that happens regularly on Fridays at 10. That is for all ages of children, but typically the kids who come are between 2 and 6. We also are continuing our regular outreach story time to We Care Daycare, which was really important to us because it's been in effect for over 25 years and we really want to continue that relationship with the community.
There's something unique about MGL when compared to other branches of the Rutherford County Library System.
We're different, obviously, because we're much smaller than most of the other branches. We're the second smallest branch in our system. But we also are really uniquely placed because we're inside of the Patterson Park Community Center. So we get a different clientele. We get more people who find themselves in the library sort of by surprise. They might be here exercising or attending one of Patterson's great classes, and they happen to come by the hallway and realize that there's a library here. So we have a lot of great opportunities to let people know about the library system sometimes first before they would end up at Linebaugh or Smyrna. We are sort of an express branch, so people can get everything that they get at the bigger branches just on a smaller scale.
Staff at MGL took some time recently to do a bit of rearranging of its books, music, and more.
The biggest and most noticeable for regular patrons is our honor books now have been moved to a new, sleeker shelf that's closer to the rest of the collection and hopefully is more logically arranged. We also, during our staff development day recently, took the opportunity of being closed to rearrange almost every single book in the book room, which is the second room off of the library. So now the juvenile fiction is incorporated closer to the rest of the juvenile materials back there, and our adult nonfiction, graphic novels, and CD music collections get sort of top billing. They're more noticeable and hopefully will circulate some more.
So if you're at Patterson Park and want to catch up on some great reading, the Myrtle Glanton Lord Library is just a few steps away.
Definitely come by MGL if you haven't yet. We're the hidden gem of the Rutherford County Library System, and I think you'll be surprised at all of the things you can get at such a small location.
Michael Doubler has written a new book about a local legend. Every year in July, thousands visit Uncle Dave Macon Days, a celebration of bluegrass music and the life of the Grand Ole Opry icon. Doubler's new book chronicles the life of Uncle Dave, and we find out more about it and his special connection to Uncle Dave in a segment we call Author Author.
A new book that I've just written is Dixie Dewdrop, the Uncle Dave Macon story, and it's the first full account of the life of Uncle Dave Macon, the first superstar of the Grand Ole Opry. And he was also one of our local heroes, having lived here in Rutherford County for almost 50 years. And Uncle Dave hailed from here and left here to go play on the Grand Ole Opry and to record his great hits in New York and Chicago and New Orleans, and he always came back home to Murfreesboro.
Doubler's passion for writing this book comes from a close connection to Uncle Dave.
I'm very proud to say that Uncle Dave was my great-grandfather. In other words, Uncle Dave's oldest son was my grandfather. And so I never met Uncle Dave, but I was literally raised on stories about Uncle Dave that were very well known locally, and I had a feel for who he was, but not really till I began work on the book did I fully understand just how huge of a star that he was in his own right.
Doubler adds his journey to writing Dixie Dewdrop began a number of years ago.
I basically started working in earnest on the project about 4 years ago. And I did 3 years of research and writing, and then the actual production of a major book takes about a year to get everything right and to make sure all the pictures are integrated and that things are checked and rechecked and double checked. And so it's a long journey doing a major book, but I'm very satisfied with the outcome, and I think that people will really be taken with the story of Uncle Dave because it's a very human story. Not only was he famous, but he had a number of trials that he had to overcome. It's a story that everyone can identify with.
Uncle Dave's legacy lives on every year in July with Uncle Dave Macon Days, one of the largest events held in Murfreesboro. It's something Doubler says would put a smile on the face of the Opry legend if he was alive today.
Well, it's fantastic. It's a time for the family to get together and to come and enjoy music in a family-oriented environment where we pay tribute to Uncle Dave and also have contemporary performers in. And it's for people to get together and play and have a good time and to enjoy their music. And in some ways, in that regard, it's like an Uncle Dave show, that people can just play with groups or they can quiet down and go watch a major national performance. And people have asked me, what would Uncle Dave think about all this if he could come back and be at Uncle Dave Making Days? I believe it's the only music festival named after a person. Uncle Dave would be thrilled. He would love it, the fact that people came, that they remembered his legacy, and that they were still enjoying the music, and he would identify with most of the songs that are played, because some of them are his.
If you would like to find out more about Uncle Dave, Dixie Dewdrop is available both online and at most local bookstores.
The new Technology Engagement Center is amazing. It's a great resource for our community with all of the computers and the classes available. Branch librarian Kathleen Tyree provides the latest at the center as we're talking tech.
We've got some fun new things happening here at the Tech. One of them, our virtual reality station, is now operable. You can come on by and give it a try. You wear this is like the goggles that you wear to see the virtual world that you visit. There are two of these, they're handheld, they're wireless, and this lets us map out where in the building, where in the room our safe place is. So you don't have to worry about wires, tripping on a chair, bumping into a wall. So we make sure we get the towers, sort of like with your smartphone. You want to know that it's hitting a tower somewhere. We've got these two little towers, and we triangulate those with the station, and that lets you walk through your world and move around without bumping into a wall, bumping into another person, hopefully. And then you just click on these. It's not hands-free, but it is wire-free. We're going to work on this one, hopefully getting this part wireless, or at least out of the way. But yeah, you wear this. It's great. You look like a giant bug. So now I'm seeing what's on the screen behind me, and you click and move things around. And if you have folks with you, they can see on the screen what you're doing. So it's a lot of fun. You get a lot of coaching, which is sort of useless because what they're seeing and what you're doing, it would have to be simultaneous for them to be of any assistance. But it's very entertaining to watch.
Another area now operational is sure to excite musicians and podcast enthusiasts.
We also have our sound recording studio. We have been using that in-house because we do some recorded spots for WGNS radio. So what we'll do is make public service announcements or upcoming events at the library branches. And it is, you come sign in at the front desk. If you don't know how to use it, we'll walk you through it. We're hoping to have classes soon. Several of our staff members are very well versed on it, but we're looking and bringing into people. So many people around here know about recording that we're hoping to bring some outside instructors in as well.
There's something else that's new at the Tech. The newly hired Technology and Outreach Coordinator, Trey Gwinn.
I am the new Technology and Outreach Coordinator for the Rutherford County Library System. I'm in charge of all of the classes, the computer classes that we'll be offering, both developing them and making sure that we have volunteers to do them. I'm also in charge of reaching out to local companies to ask them to send volunteer instructors to teach those classes.
Gwinn adds courses on some favorite computer applications will be taught at the Tech.
Intro to the Microsoft Suite is always a super popular class here. We break it down into intro to Word and Excel and PowerPoint, but the one that I'm actually looking the most forward to is resume writing. I think that that's a resume writing workshops, that kind of thing, are a way that we can really immediately impact the community. We also one of the ones I'm also looking forward to is a how-to class on how to take advantage of our digital resources that the library can offer, because we have streaming services and online audiobooks and digital books that you can take advantage of with your library card. And a lot of people don't know that, and they don't know how to get to it. So we're going to offer a how-to class on how to get to those digital library resources.
Linebaugh's mission is helping to improve reading literacy. Gwinn says his focus will be improving a different type of literacy.
Libraries like the Rutherford County Library System have placed importance on literacy throughout their entire history. But as we move forward, literacy means more than just being able to read books. And my focus is computer literacy. We live in a world where we are increasingly in the digital space. 80% of people who have looked for a new job have looked for it online. And a lot of jobs you can only apply for online. And so in a world where, cybersecurity is more important, people need to know how to get around in the digital space. And it's my job to help increase that computer literacy.
Gwinn says the sky's the limit when it comes to the tech's potential.
In the end, we would like to be able to offer everything from beginning computers to actual coding classes. We'll probably start with the easier stuff, intro to Excel and stuff like that, but we'll be offering intro Photoshop classes. If it's done on a computer, we're hoping to have a class on it.
We've told you that there's a lot happening at Linebaugh. Here are just some of the big events coming up.
Looking for a gift this holiday season? Check out the Friends of Linebaugh book sale on November 17th from 9 a.m. to noon at the library's parking garage. Check out the free seminar of Learning How to Maximize Social Security on Thursday, November 29th, beginning at 6 p.m. The seminar will be held in the first floor club room at Linebaugh. Are you a fan of Shakespeare? Then you'll want to check out Shakespeare Aloud at Linebaugh every third week of the month. November's presentation will be Twelfth Night. December's will be All's Well That Ends Well, and January's will be Othello. A reminder, the library will be closed November 22nd and 23rd for Thanksgiving, December 24th and 25th for Christmas, January 1st for New Year's Day, and January 21st for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
One final note, our program won first place at the 2018 NATOA Government Programming Awards in the library category. This honor could not have happened without all of the hardworking employees at the Rutherford County Library System. It's their creativity, dedication, and passion for reading and the mission of our library that's been recognized nationally. Congratulations. So that's going to wrap it up for this show. As you've seen, there's a lot to do at Linebaugh, and we haven't come close to telling you about everything else that's happening here. You can always go to their website at rclstn.org to find out about upcoming events, classes, clubs, groups, and more. Or you can stop at one of the 4 major locations: the main branch on West Vine Street, the Myrtle Glenton Lord Library inside Patterson Park, and branches in Eagleville and Smyrna. Also, be on the lookout for the library's bookmobile. Plus, if you're in need of computer access, visit the Technology Engagement Center located on Minerva Drive. If you haven't been to any of our library locations, you're missing out. From books to DVDs to activities to so much more. Take the time to visit your local library. Thanks for watching.